The controversial Brower artwork has been moved.
And COVID cases are on the rise.
And these clouds you see behind me will be out of here just in time for homecoming weekend.
We have that and more on this edition of 15 News at 5 starts now.
More this edition of 15 News at 5.
At 15 News at 5.
15 News at 5.
15 News at 5.
15 News at 5 starts right now.
Thank you for joining us this evening on 15 News at 5. I'm Keaton Lewis.
And I'm Konnor Stump.
On September 12th, the campus community received this email titled Valpo Art Collection Update from President Padilla. In this email, Padilla goes on to talk about how they have made the decision to move 3 artworks that are possibly being sold to fund the renovation of dorm rooms on campus. Padilla mentioned that for the safeguard of the works, they will be stored in an off-site secure location. It was also said that there are going to be, quote, certain events, including a legal hearing related to the possible sale. The email says that there has been no financial decision on the final sale of the artworks and that they will be stored off-site for the foreseeable future.
Time is running out for the members of the Valparaiso University community to apply for the selection to the Presidential Commission for Inclusivity and Valparaiso Community. The commission, referred to as CIVC, reports to President Padilla and aspires to provide strategic vision and community on issues relating to diversity, inclusion, and equity for our campus community. It also serves to determine, coordinate, and advance the initiatives Valparaiso University needs to implement its vision to become a more inclusive and equitable community. Members in CIVC will be held for 2 years, both the 2023-24 and 2024-25 academic years. The application closes this Friday, September 22nd, and can be found on an email sent by the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion on September the 11th.
As we head into the cold and flu season, VU has updated its COVID-19 and flu shot requirements. As of this past May, the university no longer requires students, staff, or faculty to get a COVID booster or the flu shot. They strongly recommend the use of both shots. The University Health Center is offering flu shots by appointment. Several other area pharmacies also offer flu shots, and the new COVID-19 booster will be available in the coming weeks as well. Cases seem to be rising on campus as we see the all too familiar masks starting to break out again. If a student tests positive, they are recommended to return home and isolate for the CDC protocol of 5 days and can return to in-person activities wearing a mask for the following 5 days. If a student cannot do so, they may either isolate in their residence hall or request a temporary quarantine room. But COVID-19 isn't the only thing going around. That respiratory illnesses and the common cold are spreading like wildfire across the area. In order to minimize the spread, anyone who is experiencing COVID-19 symptoms is encouraged to wear a mask, and if you are symptomatic, you are encouraged to take a COVID test, just to be safe.
We have 15 Weather's Kolton Woods in the studio. So Kolton, what's up with these warmer temperatures? How long are they going to stay?
Yeah, Konnor, they're expected to stick around for at least this weekend because we do have cooler weather arriving next week. But in the meantime, we'll have to deal with some isolated rain showers for tonight. But thankfully, by the time we get to Friday and this weekend, it will be really nice around here with plenty of sunshine. So like I said, we are dealing with a few isolated showers, especially south of Valpo. Those ones will be tracking due north. So over the next few hours, just be aware we could run into a few spotty showers, but most of the rain, at least the heaviest of it, is staying to the west of us. Temperature-wise, you can see where the rain-cooled air is right now. It's in the 60s further to the west of us and near 80 in West Michigan, so we're staying in the 70s for now. But tonight we'll cool down to 59 with isolated rain showers, like I said. By tomorrow, we'll warm up to 81, though, with partly cloudy skies. Back to you guys.
You know, I think with the warm weather starting to, and I'm thinking about maybe going to the beach this weekend and getting the last bit of sunshine and warm weather. How about you?
Well, that's right. I know it's going to be warming, so hopefully tomorrow looks nice weather out. So.
Illinois has ended its cash bail system, which means hundreds of inmates may be released. It's the result of a new law taking effect called the Pre-Trial Fairness Act. Mark Maxwell has details.
At the St. Clair County Jail, these windows are now obsolete, and these doors?
It's going to be opening and closing a lot.
Sergeant James Hendricks says the Sheriff's Department has been coordinating closely with the courts and prosecutors to prepare for the end of cash bail.
This week is totally different than what we've ever done in law enforcement.
Dozens of defendants in jail now may be released in a simple court order if the state's attorney declines to file a motion to keep them locked up.
When those court orders actually arrive, we're going to expedite those people getting out of here as fast as we possibly can with doing our job.
Those releases could happen in waves of 25 to 30 people a day until about 150 in total are let out.
There's a lot of inmates that are curious to whether they're going to get out and, not have to be detained here any further.
But defendants facing more serious charges have to go before a judge for a detention hearing. That's where a public defender persuaded a judge to let Latara Atkins, a breastfeeding mother, go home to her 2-month-old baby girl.
I'm so happy to get back to my baby and my family. I just was thirsty to get out to them.
She still faces felony charges. Police say she struck the father of her child with a stick in a drunken fight last Thursday night. The judge said she can go home but can't see him for 72 hours and can't possess a gun at all until her trial. How does she feel knowing she won't have to pay cash bail?
It makes me feel good. It do makes me feel good.
The new law that reunited her with her daughter blocks this family's reunion with their loved one.
They need to get better with the justice system.
They didn't tell us his name, but said he faced the judge today, where he found he would not get out. His family had saved up thousands of dollars, hoping they could have paid his bond.
We have to pay for everything.
His girlfriend brought their daughter, family, and friends to wave outside a window because the cost to communicate directly.
We paying for stamps to send them pictures. We have to pay for visits, which is $10. The taxes for that.
She says added up to more than $670 over the last few weeks.
We can't see him. We can't talk to him unless we're on the phone. We pay for that. So this is how we do it. This is how we can afford it, to see him through a window.
Prosecutors at the state Clare County State's Attorney Office are working to persuade a judge to keep some felony defendants behind bars as they await their trial.
Right now, the CDC says cases of the flu are low in the U.S., but flu season typically starts in October, peaking sometime in February. It can go as late as May, and experts say now is the time to get a flu shot. In today's Health Minutes, Mandatory Gather has more on the push to protect the public from the virus and how to find a flu shot near you.
It's that time of year again. RSV, COVID-19, and flu, a potential triple threat this fall.
We want to get ahead of it and encourage people to get a flu shot now.
Last flu season, there were at least 27 million flu cases, 300,000 flu hospitalizations, and 19,000 deaths related to flu, while the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that vaccinations reduce the risk of flu hospitalization by about 50%. Fewer than half the country got the flu shot last season. The CDC says September and October are optimal times to be vaccinated.
We're actually expecting that the flu shot that we have available will work very well and be very effective once the flu is in the Northern Hemisphere.
The CDC says the African American and Hispanic communities are at higher risk for serious outcomes from the flu, but have been less likely to get vaccinated. Barriers such as the lack of insurance or transportation and the inability to take off from work are believed to have played a role. State health departments, community health centers, and local pharmacies all have flu shots available. To find one closest to you, the agency says to check getmyflushot.org.
It's a way to just be prepared, knowing that the flu is coming.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says it's safe to get the flu shot and update COVID-19 vaccines at the same time. And the agency encourages everyone to get both shots for the best protection during the respiratory virus season.
Indianapolis Colts tight end Kylen Granson scored his first career touchdown in his 31st game on Sunday, but he had to save the celebration for social media. That's because officials initially ruled he was short of scoring. They reversed that decision upon review, but not in time for Granson to do an on-field celebration. So in the following days, he took to Instagram with some funny photos. He posted a series of pictures with his touchdown ball cradled in a towel alongside his partner, imitating a photo shoot for a newborn child, posing with a flower behind his ear. Granson is seen lifting the touchdown ball aloft like it's an infant. The caption read, quote, "After 3 years of trying, it's finally here," and including a baby bottle emoji. Granson plans to deliver on his preseason promise to give his first touchdown ball to his mother.
Get ready for some sick beats courtesy of the Fed. Haven't heard of the Fed? The federal government, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, has released an album called We're Safety Now, Haven't We? It has several songs with safety-related messages aimed at young adults, like reminding kids to wear a helmet and put your phone away while driving. The album can be found on the Consumer Product Safety Commission's website and YouTube channel. The song could eventually pop in on the Spotify and Apple Music. Coming up after the break, Kolton Woods will have your full forecast.
Right now, you can see we have plenty of cloud cover, and that's due to a storm system. A tiny one, though, out in Illinois. If we take a look at temperatures right now, you can see where that storm system is, cooling down the air with the rain. 65 in Rockford, 67 in Davenport. We are at 76, though, in Valpo, and even warmer, almost 80 in Fort Wayne. But that rain will continue to slowly move in our direction overnight, but stay pretty isolated. Dew points are a lot more humid to the west as well. Peoria is sitting at 67. We're at 60, which is about the temperature in which it feels slightly humid. Drier, though, further to the east of us. So overnight, it will feel a little bit more muggy than it has been recently. Current radar shows that storm system pretty well. It's a small one, like I mentioned. Most of the rain is staying in central and northern Illinois. We do have some showers, though, here close to the Valpo region, just south of us, and they're continuing to push off to the north. Few hours, just be aware that you may run into an isolated shower, but if we do see any, they will be pretty light. You can also see that storm system on the satellite. Right now, it's spinning in Iowa and the Illinois border. We're seeing cloud cover from that as well, but thankfully, by the time we get to Friday, that storm system will be leaving our area and we'll start to begin the clearing out process. Here's how the future radar plays it out. You can see tonight at 8:30, some isolated showers are possible, but we're not expecting any heavy rain with that. This model tries to bring in heavier rain overnight, but I think still the worst of it will be to our west. Going into the day tomorrow, you can see most of it will die off. And we'll begin to clear out throughout the day on Friday, and by Saturday, for the homecoming game, we're expected to stay pretty sunny with mostly sunny skies for the rest of the day. Future rainfall shows, like I said, the worst of it will stay to the west. DeKalb could get up to an inch of rain with just trace amounts here in Valpo, if anything. Future temperatures show we will cool down to around 61 overnight, warm up to 81 tomorrow, and stay in the 50s going into Saturday morning, warm up into the 70s for the football game. Speaking of football, it's going to be a wonderful weekend for it with highs right around 78 by kickoff with plenty of sunshine as well. Back to you guys.
That's great to know that it's going to be a great sunny day for that football game for homecoming weekend. I'm excited to see that. You know, we've been needing that rain around here, but I guess it will hold off just for a little bit longer. After the break, we'll take a look at these past week's sports.
The Valpo women's volleyball team scored back-to-back wins versus Miami of Ohio and Purdue Fort Wayne. The Miami of Ohio game was a home game and the Beacons won the game 3-0. The next game was a road game at Purdue Fort Wayne in which the Beacons won 3-0 also. The Beacons are now 8-5 on their season, winning 3 of their last 4. The Beacons play Missouri State at home tomorrow at the Arc. The Valpo women's soccer team has a road game at Evansville tonight at 6 p.m. The women's soccer team currently has a 4-2 record after tying with Eastern Michigan back on September 10th. After Evansville, the Beacons play at Indiana State this Sunday, September 24th. And of course, this Saturday is the big homecoming football game. The Beacons will take on Marist. The Beacons are 0-2 on the season, looking to win their first game. The game kicks off at noon from Brown Field and can be watched on ESPN+. We wish all the best to our women's volleyball and soccer team, along with our football team. Go Beacons!
Wow, we have our, let's see, our volleyballs, they have a winning record, soccer has a winning record. Well, do you think this is the week, John, to get that first win in the column?
Oh, absolutely. We were able to get it done last year and win on homecoming, so I believe we'll be able to get it done this year. I have full faith in our Valpo football team.
I like that spirit.
I totally agree. Coming up, we will have a final look at your 7-day forecast.
Well, if you're a fan of rain, we're really not going to see any over the next 7 days. So enjoy the rain tonight because that's really our only chance. Over the weekend, we're expected to see mostly sunny skies for homecoming, so that's good news, until we cool down to around 70 by next Tuesday.
Thanks, Kolton, for the 7-day. Well, I have a question for you guys. What are you looking forward to this homecoming weekend?
I would say probably having an alumni cookout with my fraternity. I haven't seen most of them since like May or April, so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm just excited to see all the alumni that are going to be here. I'm really looking forward to seeing them again.
I can't wait for this football game. This football game is going to be wonderful. We're taking on Marist. We're going to get our first win. I'm guaranteeing it. It's going to happen.
John, I was going to say the same thing about the festivities, seeing everyone come back and hopefully seeing some familiar faces.
Yes.
From all of us at VUTV, thanks for joining us this evening.